is there a difference between the overall business climate indices, as you're quite familiar with them, and the favorability of an environment to entrepreneurial entry and to the high growth firms? Are these the same or are they different?
I think they're, if not the same, they're very closely correlated. The work that I do and the whole perspective that I have, and it's described in a new book that Brookings is publishing in the summer called World Peace Through Entrepreneurship, which for many around here who know me has been my tagline for a long time. It's about ecosystems, and I have a particular view about ecosystems, the 6+6 model for ecosystems that has 6 key pillars of activity and 6 key categories of player. But the 6 key categories of player, which include corporations, foundations, universities, NGOs, investors, and government, are not all equal. And government is disproportionately important. And I think that in the work that we do as practitioners in this space, we use a combination of ecosystem measurement indices, of which GEM is one, but so is Transparency International, and so are other indices of regulatory reform. Obviously, the World Bank Doing Business indicators. So, for instance, in one case in Rwanda, we did a project for the U.S. Institute of Peace about the role of entrepreneurship in post-conflict and fragile states. Mm-hmm. And Rwanda, of course, is the poster child for the successful version of this, because Rwanda has had, setting aside other issues about Rwandan politics, which are particularly active right now since there's an election in Rwanda coming up. The fact of the matter is that World Bank has had the greatest improvement in its World Bank Doing Business indicator status of any country since the World Bank started keeping the indicators. And, not coincidentally, it also has had the strongest economic growth of any sub-Saharan African country in the 20 years since genocide. In what is probably, I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a worse situation from which they grew. Rwanda post-genocide, 75% of the men between the ages of 18 and 35 were dead. The average age of the country was 12. 70% of women were HIV infected. And 20 years later, they have the highest per capita income growth rate in Africa, and probably one of the most robust entrepreneurial ecosystems in Africa, including citywide Wi-Fi in Kigali.